Podcasting has become more powerful for brands, but the market is not fully saturated. So there is tons of opportunity there for you to create compelling content and rise above the fray and the noise in the rest of the social media world. So smart brands 8 to 10 years ago started to understand this, and they started to lean into podcasting as a playground where not a lot of people were playing. And what we have now seen is this body of evidence that continues to grow, where businesses have started to recognize the potential of podcasts as an owned platform for branded content. It's not a social media platform. It is not an earned platform. It is an owned platform. And your brand podcast can truly be that diving board. Like, think of it literally in your mind like a platform. It is the foundation upon which the rest of your brand content, your values, your mission, your connection, your sales, all of that can leap off of. We've seen brands enter the branded podcast space in North America in large numbers in the last 8 to 10 years. Brands like McDonald's, GE, Shopify have successfully launched their own podcasts and have captured, more importantly, the attention of millions of ideal users, clients, and partners. So now let's talk about why branded podcasting is an absolute game changer. What makes it so powerful? Well, really, there are 3 things that contribute to the power of branded podcasts. Number 1 is the engagement. We see time and time again that researchers want us to believe that human beings can only pay attention to something for 3 seconds. And it's just not true. Time spent listening is a major driver of success in the podcast world. Contrary to popular belief, it is not downloads. It's time spent listening. And what we see certainly at Story Studio Network is that our shows that we produce for our clients tend to have an extremely high time spent listening, which means that the people that are finding that show, that are engaging with the audio, are sticking around. In some cases, 80-90% of the show is consumed every single time. There is power in that engagement. There is power in that time spent listening. And that can't be achieved on any other platform, simply because Instagram isn't built for that. TikTok is not built for that. YouTube arguably is built for that, but it doesn't have the same results. The average time spent listening or watching on YouTube, you're lucky if you get 50%. But in podcasts, you're doing great if you get 80%. It's pretty average. So there's something special about the audio medium that creates this deep engagement that brands can truly leverage. The next thing is the storytelling power. So yes, you can tell stories through captions on social and through clips on social media. Those are great. And I'm not suggesting you stop doing that if you are doing that. But what we have learned over and over again about the power of audio is that the storytelling takes on a new meaning. And when it takes on a new meaning, it takes on a new value for the brand. Your ability to go long, to go deep, to go episodic, to serialize the story of your brand or the values you want to stand next to is bar none best done on a podcast. And smart brands are doing that. Some of them are producing narrative-style documentaries to showcase what their brand believes in, to stand beside stories that grip listeners week after week, day after day, month after month. It's different than social media. The next superpower is the fact that podcasts are super flexible and therefore can be really creative. Now, this can also be a drawback because, as we know, something that's for everybody is for no one. So one of the challenges you have as a brand entering the podcast space, and it's something that Story Studio Network excels in helping you with, is really honing in what you need that podcast to do. Because if you wanted to do everything, it won't do everything well. So with that flexibility comes some need to commit to what the goal is. But all that being said, your podcast can be a narrative. Your podcast can be an interview show. It can be a round table style show. It can be a solo thought leadership show. It can have video. It can have clips. It can be in the field. It can be in your bedroom closet. I know lots of creators who still do that, or in their laundry room to get some sound deadening. You can be so creative with a podcast that sometimes that can be overwhelming. So it is a double-edged sword, but I would like to say that it's more of a superpower than anything.